So here we have U.S. employers are taking 25 working days on average to fill vacant positions. That is a 13-year high, according to an index created by University of Chicago economist Stephen Davis. At companies with 5,000 or more workers, the time to hire is even longer, at more than 58 working days. Joining us to discuss the finding is the Wall Street Journal reporter Lauren Weber. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we have this really interesting story about how long it's taking people to hire. Why is it taking so long?
Everybody's trying to figure that out, who follows the labor market. It's an interesting mystery. You would expect that at a time when it's taking employers a long time to fill jobs, it means that there are a lot of openings and not very many people looking for jobs. That's obviously not the labor market we have right now. There are nearly 10 million people unemployed. And a lot of people probably who are clinging to their jobs during the recession are ready to start looking elsewhere. And yet employers are taking a really long time. Some of the reasons why, and it's probably a combination of factors, are continuing uncertainty about demand going forward. So companies aren't sure that the recovery will continue, so they're being extra cautious. Another reason is not necessarily the skills gap, which gets a lot of attention, the idea that American workers don't have the right skills for the jobs that are available, but perhaps more that their employers are adding more screens, whether it's criminal checks, credit checks, drug tests, and these are more hurdles for workers to get through, and it's possible that some of them just can't get through these extra hurdles.
And the other hurdle you mentioned I thought was fascinating in the piece was the influence of LinkedIn, of these social networks for hiring, actually maybe delaying the process. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, it ties into the fact that employers are less and less interested in hiring the long-term unemployed. So they're looking for people who currently have jobs or have been unemployed for a short time. But particularly people who currently are working, they sort of see that as a badge of somebody being a good worker. So they're using social media, whether it's LinkedIn or other networks, to try to find people. And it takes a longer time to court people who are currently working and not sort of desperate for a job.
And then what does all this mean for the hiring market at large? As you take a step back and say, we have a jobs report coming on Friday, that the landscape of the American worker, are people looking at these longer days and saying the general good or bad theme of what it may mean in the coming months for the labor market?
Well, I think it's a problem. We have open jobs, and presumably employers want to fill them so that they can meet demand, get their orders out the door and, serve their customers. And we also have a lot of people who are unemployed. You want to obviously fix this mismatch that's going on and get people into jobs. So it's definitely a problem that this is happening. However, Stephen Davis, who created this index, also found that what he calls recruiting intensity, which is the effort that employers are putting into filling jobs, is slowly going up. So that sort of shows that they're either spending more money on job ads or they're hiring more recruiters for their staffs, because that's another issue. A lot of companies cut down on HR and recruiters during the recession, and that might mean that might be slowing down the process also. So hopefully we'll start to see some give in this, and the time to fill will go down, meaning that more people will be getting into jobs.
Oh, here's to hope. And Lauren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And please make sure to read more of her work in the Wall Street Journal and on WSJ.com.